bit. For now, let's go to the next speaker. Chris, you got that lined up and ready to go? You don't really have it lined up and ready to go.
I can do the intro while he's getting it set up.
Hi, I'm Nancy Friedman, founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor Customer Service Training in St. Louis, Missouri, and obviously thrilled to be here with Joe, Ben, and Julie, and all of you from Lake Norman Chamber. You know, Chambers started my career many years ago. I'm a small business myself, so helping small businesses is a passion that comes from the heart. I believe you'll see that today. All right, so we're going to play a little game called Golden Nuggets of Customer Service. Ready? Now, I'm not drinking here. Normally I have a little bag and people pick the nuggets, but because you're not able to pick a nugget, I'm going to pick them. Now, I know what's in here. I know the nuggets that are in here. And nuggets you'll see are just one or two words that help small businesses along. So I know what they're in here. I know what's in here, but I do not know the order of which they will come. So it will be a surprise to me as well. At the end of 15, 20 minutes, I'll give you a little more information on me, but I wanted to get the program started because the content is the most important for small business. All right? And somebody remind me to talk about the 4 C's of communication. All right? And if you don't remind me, I'll remind myself. All right, here we go. A little drum roll, please. You ready? All right, so I'm going to stick my hand in. I usually have an assistant, but Vanna White could not be here today. I don't know what she's doing. Let's see what I got. All right, I got tone of face. That's right, tone. I'm going to throw these on the floor. I'll let my husband pick them up. Good exercise, don't you think? Or I can wait till the cleaning woman comes next Thursday. Either way, it's on the floor. Tone of face. What do we mean by that? I'll tell you. I went shopping many years ago to a nice ladies store here in St. Louis, and I bought a lot of clothes. You don't need to know how much, but I bought a lot of clothes. And we were talking and chatting. I was the only one in the store, so they made a nice sale. And as we were walking out, they said, all right, have a nice day. And I'm walking, my back is towards them. And as I got to the door, I turned around to say thank you again. And these 2 women are going, like, thank God she's gone, or eyes crossed, I don't know. And I just said, really? They had a tone of face that never should have been. If you're not happy with someone when they walk into your establishment, hold the smile, make sure they are 40 miles away before you start talking about them. Tone of face is very important. It's at the start of every conversation, should last through until the end. So I'm glad we started with tone of face, but I would have been glad to start with anything because these little nuggets will help every single small business and large. And you know what? Here's a bonus for you. Every technique I'm sharing with you transfers over to your personal life and includes all 6 touch points of communication: email, voicemail, snail mail, phone, face. Yeah, I think the email, voicemail, snail mail, phone, face, fax is what I missed. Anyway, there's 6. Oh, chat makes it 7. I lied. The bottom line, it doesn't matter what method of communication you use. Every one of these nuggets works. I promise you. All right, let's shake them up a little. Okay, here we go. I'm not looking. Let's see what I get. I wanted this to be the first or the last, but it's close enough to the top. And the golden nugget simply says, if you can see that, I'm not sure. Dick, can they see it? That's all right, leave it alone. All right, yeah, you got it? Look how good he is. I got such a handsome producer, director, my husband. So the smile I'm going to put in my pocket, because if you take nothing else away from this program, take the word smile. That's right. It's in every language. It speaks to everybody, and it's so important. You know, a lot of people say, Nancy, do you smile all the time? Yes. Yes, I smile all the time, no matter what happens, because no matter what happens to me, if I fight with my husband or I get a flat tire or something bad happens, it's not that person's fault. And that's what we call emotional leakage, when you leak over with somebody. I was at the grocery store a while back, and the clerk's throwing her stuff into the bag. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, you're going to hurt my vegetables and my fruit. She said, and she used a word that I never used. She said, I'm frustrated. She didn't say that. She used a P word. She said, I'm really frustrated. I had a fight with my boyfriend. I think we broke up. I said, was I with you? And she smiled. She said, no. I said, well, then don't take it out on me. I said, you are emotional leaking. And my husband stepped up and said, Nancy, stop trying to train people one by one by one. But it was important for me. I wasn't with her and her boyfriend. Anyway, back to the smile. It doesn't matter what happened to you. It's not that nobody cares, but nobody cares. It's just that simple. So keeping a little smile no matter what happens it's part of doing business. All right? A telephone doctor, that smile on the phone, in person, to each other is a condition of employment grounds for termination. There's a lot of those sort of rules around our house. Okay, around our house, yeah, and our business. Let's see what else we got here. We got some good ones here. Yes, the three-part greeting. Three-part greeting. I'm going to throw that on the floor too. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't matter where I go. Everybody's got a different way of answering the phone. Some just say hello. Some just go, at me. But there is for lack of a better word, a more effective method to answering a telephone. So if you're in business and you have a business, consider going to our three-part greeting. It's very simple. You have a buffer, you have a company name, and you have your name. So a buffer sets up the most important part of any conversation. In this case, it's going to be your company name. So you want to say, good morning, good afternoon, thanks for calling, whatever you want. People say to me all the time, well, Nancy, what do you say, a telephone doctor? We say thanks for calling. Well, why do you say thanks for calling, Nancy? Well, I'll tell you why. Because half the time years ago at the office, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, somebody said, good morning, or at 9 a.m. in the morning, they said, good afternoon. They got all mixed up. And I said, hey, ladies, should we just make it generic and say thanks for calling? Oh, they love that. So now we never make a mistake when answering the phone at the time of day. Isn't that neat? Okay. Thanks for calling. Then you use your company name. Thanks for calling telephone doctor. Now identify yourself. Thanks for calling telephone doctor. This is Nancy. Stop. How can I help you is not necessary on an initial greeting when you're answering the phone. You're there to help. That's why you answered the phone. Hello? So if you're saying, how can I help you? You'll still go to heaven. It'll be okay. It's just not necessary. Hi, thanks for calling telephone doctor. This is Nancy. Stop. Two things happen when you address the three-part greeting. Number one, it speeds the rapport building process. It speeds which is what you're looking for anyway. And number two, which is the most fun part, 99, maybe I'm going to go 99% because somebody will catch me. 99% of the time, when you leave your last name first, that makes sense? Hi, thanks for calling telephone doctor. This is Nancy. The other person says, well, hi, Nancy. This is Joe. You know which Joe I mean. Oh, hi, Joe. Nice to talk with you. And I write his name down right away. No matter what it is. Vagnone. Joe, how are you saying your last name? We never really got to that. That's a different one. It could be Vagnone. Could be a lot of ways. I'm not trying to insult. I'm just trying to find the right way. But the bottom line, it doesn't matter how it sounds. You just write down the first name if they give it to you, because that's really all you need. If you don't write the first name down, you could come into the issue of, what was your name again? And we don't want that. What was your name again is a big, fat X. Well, how do you get around that, Nancy? Here's how you get around that. It's a simple little technique I devised many years ago. I was in World down in Florida, and either lost or my wallet was stolen. And I don't need to tell you what's in your wallet, your driver's license, the heck with the money, but all the credit cards, yada, yada, yada. I was devastated. So I called MasterCard, the first one I could think of, and I very nicely, as I always do, said, hi, my name is Nancy Friedman, and I'm down here in Disneyland, and somebody stole or I lost my wallet. What do I do? And the words out of her voice was, out of her whatever, what was your name again? And I said, it's still Nancy Friedman. I haven't changed it. All she needed to do was say, wow, I'm so sorry that happened. I apologize. I missed your name. My name is Sally, and I'm here to help. And I'm speaking with Nancy. Did you get that technique on how to get a name when you miss it, don't understand it? Some people, have no vowels in their last name, so it's difficult to understand them. Let's go over that one more time. Tell me your name again? No, we're not going to say that. We are going to say, I apologize. I know you just said your name, and I missed it. I'm Nancy, and I'm speaking with Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. And I write Joe's name down, and I have it there on my right-hand side 100% of the time. Phew. All right. So that was one of them. I have this. I don't think I threw that one away, so we may. Okay. You ready? How many are having fun? Good. I like to see that. I like to see that. You know, I usually give prizes, but this is difficult. Maybe I will give a prize. Julie, if you'll take note of who answers that. Okay, this is. Well, these are all like my children. I love them all, and they're all great techniques. If you're in business, you need to be a double checker. You need to be a double checker. I'm throwing that on the floor because the cleaning lady comes Thursday. You need to be a double. What does that mean? That means you need to be a double checker. Somebody asks you something. Well, let me give you a true story. I called a shoe store. Well, I walked by the shoe store, and I saw a pair of red pumps I wanted, and I walked in. There's a very defensive woman standing there. She said, yes, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I saw that pair of red pumps. Do you have them in size 9.5, please? She said, we're out. I said, you didn't even look. She said, no, we're out. I sold the last pair yesterday. And I thought a moment, and I thought, would you do me a favor? She said, what's that? Like, God forbid she should help me. She said, what's that? I said, maybe, did you go to lunch yesterday? She said, yes. I said, well, maybe while you were at lunch, somebody brought them back or put them in the wrong place. Could you double check for me if they're there? And she said, I sold the last pair. I said, humor me. Okay, thank you. Well, you know how she went out, shoulders shrugged and schlepped out. She came up 5 minutes later with a box under her arm, and I said, that wouldn't happen to be my red pumps, 9.5 medium. She said, well, somebody put them in the wrong place. Blame her. Don't you love blamers? Somebody else put them in the wrong place. She could have said, hey, I found them. It's your lucky day. Go buy a lottery ticket. There's so many ways to keep people happy. So double check everything. Another true story, and this boggled my travel agent's mind. We were going on a cruise, and I said, I've got the cabin I want. And she looked, she said, oh, it's sold. It's gone. I said, really? I said, could you double check? She said, Nancy, I've checked for 3 people. That's a very popular cabin. I said, I know, but I'm told in the travel industry, things change quickly. Again, I said, humor me, just double check. She said, okay, I'll call you back tomorrow. Well, she called me about 20 minutes later and said, goodness gracious, it's been released. It's yours. These are just little ideas and tips and skills and techniques that will help your business. Be a double checker. Don't be prepared to say, no, we're out. You can say, the last time I checked, we didn't have that, but let me double check for you. Number one, you make the customer feel fabulous, even if it's on the telephone. The last time I checked, we were out, but if you give me your number, I'll double check and we will call you back. I'm telling you, there are times when you will find, whoops, we have it. I didn't need to tell the customer no. Phew. Having fun? I hope you are. I love these techniques. They make every business just a little bit better. So you take what you want. I'm going to look. Make sure you don't see. What is this one? Oh, we had tone of face, right? And that's so important. Now I chose tone of voice because the two go together. We know that when you smile, when you talk, your voice changes. It just does. Ask any radio announcer, television person. We know that the commercial sounds better when we're saying something with a smile. If I stood here and said, okay, tone of voice, we're going to talk about tone of voice now. Tone of voice is very important that you say everything with a smile. It just loses everything, does it not? So put that. My husband came up with a fabulous saying. A phony smile is better than a real frown. Yeah. A phony smile is better than a real frown. And we don't mean an idiot's grin. We just mean a normal, keep your smile open, your face on a little upward skin. So tone of voice is so important because it comes from here. And yes, people can tell when you're smiling on the phone. Trust me, they can. All right, we got a few others here. All right, so they're whipping them up. See, okay, here we go. Ha! I have this on my mirror, but my mirror has 2 other words when I put my makeup on in the morning. This one says enthusiasm. You can't drink while you're doing this. Enthusiasm. Humor, enthusiasm, and smiling. That's what's on my mirror. So every morning I get up, I'm putting my makeup on. And I look at those 3 words and I know that my clients, my customers, my friends, my family all expect me to have the same enthusiasm. So don't lose your enthusiasm. If you don't have enthusiasm for what you're doing, maybe you're doing in the wrong business. And that happens. We don't have a good match. But if you're working and if you're having a good time, you can't fake enthusiasm. That has to come from the heart. Okay, I got a signal that we're about 15 minutes, but I'm going to take the 20 that Julie said I could have. Oh, this is the best. I'm so glad we got this in. 4 useless words. Yeah, there's a lot of useless words, but these are the worst. You ready? We have removed them from our lives at my office and my home. And that's when you see somebody or you talk with somebody on the phone and the first words out of your mouth are, hi, how are you? And the second words out of their mouth is, fine, thank you, how are you? What has happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nancy doesn't like when nothing happens. So there are 22 other things you can say when you see somebody. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Good to hear from you. Hi, thanks for calling. Glad you called. I mean, there's 4 or 5 right there off the bat from the top of my head. Stop with the hi, how are you? Fine, thanks, how are you? Now, when somebody does it to me, because not everybody is a believer or has heard this technique, say I get a call, and the first words out of their mouth, hi, Nancy, Bill Smith, how are you? I go, fine, thank you. I'm glad you called. I don't give it back to him, hoping he'll take a hint. Not that I don't care, but it doesn't do anything. Hi, how are you? Fine, thanks, how are you? You know, we all, when we used to go to the malls and you'd see a friend and you pass in the halls, hi, how are you, Bill? Good, thanks, how are you? I mean, we don't even hear the answer sometimes. So those are 4 useless words. There's probably more, but honest to gosh, they're useless. They don't do anything for you, your business, your family. I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to sign off with my website and the phone number and all the ways you can get me except my weight. Okay. Okay. Good one to close the program with. Resist negative tendencies. Resist negative tendencies. We all, myself included, have times when negativity sometimes comes into our lives. Now, I push it out as best I can. So we have a program on Telephone Doctor on our serviceskills.com. If you go to www.serviceskillswithans.com, you'll see the whole e-learning platform. It's there for you to get a demo. Look for the program under Telephone Doctor for the 5 forbidden phrases. 5 forbidden phrases. Funny that we got this at the end. Time does not allow me to give you all of them. Let me give you the first one. Somebody calls you and asks you something. I don't care what it is. It could be how late are you open. I don't care what the question is. And the person answering the phone says, gee, I don't know. Well, that's a forbidden phrase. It's 5 forbidden phrases. That's the first one. I don't know is as abrupt and negative as you can get. So the answer is when they ask you something that you don't have instant access information is, gee, that's a real good question. Let me go double check. If you're able to hold, I'll get you that information. Now, I've got thousands of techniques for you, literally thousands. I hope I get to come back. Lake Norman Chamber, thank you very much. Joe, Julie, hey, Ben, you're the cutie. You're all cute. I am blessed to know you all. I'm so glad to be at the 9th annual Small Business, I guess it is. Small business runs this country. God bless you all. Thank you for having me.
So I was extremely fortunate to be co-hosting when Nancy came on as a guest. So I'm going to do a quick introduction for those of you that do not know Nancy yet. She is the founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor Customer Service Training. She's a popular speaker in all industries covering her specialty of customer service, communications, and sales. And I want to jump right into the conversation. Nancy, thank you so much for coming on and joining us today. And also for calling me cute, right? Bonus points for that.
Nancy!
Keep it up. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Chris, did you have me muted for the whole thing there?
I'm not muted.
I can hear you, Nancy. I can hear you, darling. Nancy, thank you so much. Remember, this is live radio, so I've only got about 10 minutes with you, and I want to share all of them with some of the great ideas that you have. You were on the show with Ben, and one of the favorite things that you did while you were on the show, you tested my cell phone and decided whether my voicemail was good or not. And I was...
Loser.
Yeah. And so I wanted to know if we can't go through that really quick. There were 3 or 4 things you just told people, don't do this for your voicemail. I'd love to go over those.
Let's go over them, and thanks again for having me. All right, the first one is, hi, I'm not at my desk right now, or hi, I can't come to the phone right now. Well, duh, I mean, your voicemail answered. We know that. So that's actually a useless phrase, and it's a frustration. Sorry, I missed you. That's another one. I'm sorry I missed your call. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes it's that little old lady who's been calling and calling and calling. It's a useless phrase. People know you're sorry they missed you. So you don't need that. And I'll tell you in a moment who made these 5 frustrating voicemail phrases. Here's I call it the groaner. Your call is very important to me. Yeah, well, then why aren't you there? And to big companies and small businesses who say, your call is very important to us, bull. All right, get that off your system. It's useless. The other one I want to talk to you about is people say, well, why is this one bad? Please go ahead and leave your name and number, and I'll return your call as soon as possible. What's wrong with that, Nancy? What's wrong with that is because your as soon as possible is different from your as soon as possible. And we will never exceed anybody's expectations with as soon as possible.
So, Nancy,
on
that one, do you want people to be more specific? Do you want them to lay out of, hey, our goal in our business is to get back to you? They only
need to say, thanks, Ben, that's a good point. They only need to say, go ahead and leave your name and number, and I will return your call. Boom, done. That's it. You don't need to say when or where. I mean, as soon as possible is a given. It is a given. The last one is having no exit plan, no plan B. For any reason, if this is an emergency, please call my assistant. Her number is 314, yada, yada, yada. Call Joe Vagnone, call Ben McDonald, or, here's my email, nancy@telephonedoctor.com. That's telephonedoctor.com. So there's just I'll bet the people on the panel and the people listening, when was the last time you called your own voicemail message to hear it, to what it says?
Well,
I'm telling you.
Nancy, we did that when you were on the show, and it was so enlightening. I went back and changed my voicemail message immediately. So it really was helpful, which is why I wanted to go over it again. We've only got about 5 minutes. I want to talk to you. I asked you a question when you were on the show last time. Ben, do you remember this? I asked you, why is it Chick-fil-A is absolutely awesome
at
customer service,
right?
And I can go to, and I don't want to pick a particular other drive-through, but you name it, and it just frustrates. By the time I leave that drive-through, I'm frustrated. Instead of Chick-fil-A, I actually feel good. Why is that, Nancy? One can do it and one cannot.
One word, Joe. One word: training. The big T. They have a wonderful training department, a wonderful training director. I've talked to him. I can't think of his name now because I interviewed him many years ago. I wanted to know the same thing. Why are you guys so good? Number one, their hiring process is, can't think of the word I'm looking, but it's near flawless. I mean, they look for good, healthy young people, not necessarily religious, because they're just good people. They put them through a good training program, and I'm going to bet that it's a condition of employment grounds for termination, which is like what we have. This is the way we do business, and if you want to stick around and they probably pay well too. So training is so important. It's not just here's how we do it, goodbye. It's a process, and I don't believe the other companies have a training program that is a process.
Okay. Now, you mailed me before this show this right here. Why did you mail this to me? Explain that to me. I think I know, but I want the people listening. And for those of you that can't see me on Facebook, she's got this popsicle stick with a big smile on it. Explain that.
Well, we have a saying, a phony smile is better than a real frown. My husband made that, a phony smile. So sometimes you don't feel like smiling, you can put that on and just go, hi. I feel really crappy today. How are you? So smiling makes such a difference. You know that. I know that. Small business, that should be a ground rule in every business, but small business, it's just so important. I am a small business. I've been a small business for over 40 years. And
You got one.
Our livelihood depends on how we treat people.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So Nancy, we talked a lot last time that I want us to be able to expand on today of when you're going in and you're talking to companies and you're talking about customer service and experience and things like that. What are one or two of the major mistakes that you see these companies make?
Oh, wow. That's my list goes long.
Yeah, that's why I said one or two, right? We could talk for an hour about it.
Not greeting immediately. I've been in stores where they're addressing, especially a retail store. Well, they'll let me walk around, and I can walk out, and no one has said a word to me. Sometimes all they say is, can I help you? No, I'm just browsing. Well, that's all you get when I say, can I help you? If you're going to help somebody, say, you look terrific. What are you looking for today? What are you looking for? Is better than, can I help you? What are you looking for? Well, I'm going to a wedding. I was looking for something, a little sparkle doo-doo. Well, come on over here. I'll show you this. The warmth and caring that we can give in retail, and it can be, I don't care if it's a grocery store, and the good ones, the Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's. When you ask for something, where's the ketchup? They don't say aisle 4 or it's over there. What do? They stop what they're doing, and they take you to the item.
Nancy,
class act.
Nancy, why is it that you have such a successful business at something I think seems simplistic? It boggles my mind that you have a successful business, right? Nobody should need to call Nancy, but it seems like everybody needs Nancy.
Thank you. Telephone Doctor and ServiceSkills.com has never been better or stronger right now. I believe the COVID helped us, sadly as it sounds, because people forgot how to be nice on their phones at home. That's number one. I'm getting an awful lot of calls with this message. We're getting a whole new, I can't think of the word, generation of people. They're young people coming out of college. Our curriculum is not in high school or college. What we share, what we teach, what we know is not in any curriculum in any school that I know of. Oh, they may cover it very lightly. They don't get out of college with a degree in etiquette and skills. They just don't. So you got to come Telephone Doctor or ServiceSkills.com. By the way, that website, TelephoneDoctor.com, will get you, but you also want NancyFriedman.com. NancyFriedman.com.
Because that's how I found you, with some of your videos, and I saw this crazy woman, and I thought, I love this woman. I just adore her. And next thing I know, I had you on the radio, and I'm sure I'm going to have you on the radio many, many times before.
I loved it.
Nancy, we have to go. I could spend an hour with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the video. Let's do that again. Thank you, Nancy.
Absolutely. Ben, thank you.
Yeah, thank you too,
And
Nancy.
the two timid gentlemen I didn't meet, thank you too. And the pretty lady over there. So anyway, the guy on the right, he likes me, and nobody introduced me. That's not fair. Wait, Dick.
No, I like that. I like the surprise. Nancy was surprised. You are listening to WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. This is Signature 9th Annual Small Business Event of the Year.